This is Real Retirees Uncut. No filters, no scripts, just conversations about what retirement really looks like. Let's meet today's real retiree. It's me. Okay, so I'm here because I have been watching all of the interviews and all of the videos about retirees, binge watching them actually, hoping I can grab a couple of gems from other stories. So after watching the videos, I did reach out to the channel so that I could share mine. I wanted to share my retirement story. So I'm going to tell you my retirement story. I have the list of interview questions that are used, and I'm just going to go through them one by one and tell you my story, okay? All right, let's get the glasses on. Okay, so question one is, what is your name, age, and where you're from? So my name is Arnita. I am 58 and I'm from Sanford, Florida. Question number two, when did you retire and from what career? Well, I retired this past June 2025. June 30th, 2025 was my official retirement date. And I retired from the Florida retirement system as an educator. So I worked 30 years in the Florida retirement system. 25 of those years I worked in education. I did about half of it as a mathematics teacher, middle school mathematics teacher. And then the last half I was a high school counselor. Okay. Question number three, what drove your decision? Well, for me, like I said, I've worked 30 years in the Florida retirement system, and I knew that after working 30 years, if I did nothing more, I could get my pension. So I've been working since I was 14. So it really was sheer burnout. Really I absolutely had no more capacity for working. I mean, nothing. I tried to visualize myself working at least one more year. I tried to visualize myself getting up in the morning at 5 a.m., getting myself ready for work, driving to work, walking in my office, meeting with my students, meeting with my parents. I tried to visualize myself doing that at least one more year, maybe entering the DROP program, which is the Deferred Retirement Option Program. So like once you've done your 30 years, you can opt to work up to 8 more years in the state of Florida. And then your pension you would be collecting your pension and it would just be going into that retirement account. But I just wasn't even motivated by the fact that I would be able to tap into that money because I had some money somewhere else. And I'll tell you about that on the next question. I believe it's the next question. But yeah, I knew I was done because I couldn't even say, well, let's just work one more year. Maybe we could just do one more year. I couldn't even do that. So I knew I had reached my capacity when it came to that. So that's how I knew. Question number 4. What was my approach to saving or planning? So my approach to saving or planning, I knew I would be able to collect my pension after 30 years, minimum 30 years under the pension plan. But I also had a 403B, which was like a tax-free savings. So I also had my 403B, and that's all I had, just those two vehicles, my pension and my 403B. And that's the reason why is because my husband had his thing going with all of his savings and everything. So I was kind of relying on that. So that's what I planned for my retirement. Okay, what is my retirement income source or sources? That's question number 5. My pension. All I have is my pension right now. That's all I can tap into is my monthly pension, okay? I also have my 403B, but because I'm not 59 and a half, I cannot tap into that money without penalty until I am 59 and a half. So, but I knew that. I knew I was going to have to wait at least a year before I can tap into that money. I'm not too concerned about it. because my husband still works. He's semi-retired. He has done 5 years in the drop program, and he had, he extended his 3 more years, so he's still working, and so that helps. So I'm not really concerned about that. Also, because my husband was able to add me to his health insurance, that was another driving force for me to be able to retire, because I would not have had to pay $873 a month just to keep my school board insurance. So my husband covered me on that. So that freed up a lot of money, and I didn't have to worry about that. But right now, all I have for me is my pension, and then of course my 403B, but I can't touch it until I'm 59 and a half, at least without penalty. Question number 6, saving to spending mentality. Well, I'm careful. I have to be careful with my spending because like I said, I have money that I can't tap into. It doesn't mean I can't spend it. It just means that I have to be careful. When I was working and getting a paycheck every 2 weeks, I could just go on Amazon. If I saw something on TikTok and it struck a want, I could just go ahead and just order it with no problem. But now I have to chill and wait because the pension check only comes once a month. So I have to be responsible, and I'm working on being a good steward as it comes to my funds and making sure I'm stretching that money, and I'm being responsible about it and not just spending willy-nilly, okay? So for now, yeah, I'm not really saving, but I'm careful with my spending for those reasons that I can't touch that money. So yeah, I'm just chilling on that for now though. Social Security is question number 7. Social Security, and at what age and why? Of course, I'm only 58 and a half now. So I do plan to tap into that Social Security money at the age of 62. You just don't know how long you're going to live. So I'm not concerned about waiting. I plan to tap into it at the age of 62, because when I turn 62, my husband will be 63, and he will be retiring that year. So we will both need the health insurance, and I will need that money from Social Security, if it's still here, to help supplement health insurance for me, and same with my husband. So I plan to tap into it at the age of 62. Question number 8, what is a typical day like now for me, now that I'm retired? So I don't set an alarm. I used to wake up at 5 a.m. so that I could get to school by 7:10. But now I don't have an alarm. I wake up between 6 and 6:30. I just let the Lord wake me up between 6 and 6:30. Usually that's what it's been. If I wake up at 7, that's a sleep in for me. And that's pretty rare, because I do like to get up when my husband's getting up for work. When he's up for work, I like to get up and help him with his lunch and make sure he's good and that kind of thing. So I usually do that. So that's the first thing I do. I get up, I have a cup of coffee, then I do my morning walk. As long as it's not raining, I do my morning walk. I get back from my morning walk, I light my candles so that I can enjoy my home. I enjoy my home. Sometimes I might have an appointment here or there, so I may do an appointment or go to an appointment and make sure I'm back home. I help out with my older aunts and uncles and my in-laws that when they need me, so I'm here for them when they need me. I'm also a member of a sorority, so that keeps me busy. So I'm staying busy, but I try to stick to a routine. When I'm at home, I don't eat out for lunch. Since I'm at home, I make my own lunch from home, and that helps. And then I set a timer to try to cook around 4 o'clock, just so that I'm not getting too sedentary and too lazy. I don't really stay on a schedule, but I kind of established a routine that is working for me right now. Okay, Question number 9, what do you enjoy most? Well, I enjoy the freedom. I really enjoy the freedom, but it's only been 3 months since I've been retired. So I'm still, Sunday nights, I'm still trying to make sure that I have to remind myself that I don't have to get ready for work on Monday, because I used to have this routine where on Sundays I would try to get my mind right, because if you're working in education, you got to walk in that door on your A game, and you got to be your best self, and you need to be able to offer your students, your parents, your teammates, your best self. So I used to try to get myself into this mindset, but now that I'm not working, I have to shut that off and just be like, wait a minute, just chill. You're not having to go to work tomorrow. But I love the freedom. I love being able to just kind of watch a movie if I want to in the middle of the day. Um, I just love being able to make me a cup of tea if I want it in the middle of the day, or a cup of coffee if I want it in the middle of the day. So that I really enjoy the freedom. That has been chef's kiss. Okay. Question number 10, major lifestyle changes. For me, well, since I'm not working, I'm really able to focus more on my self-care. And that's where I'm working on making sure I'm watching what I'm eating, uh, making sure I'm getting my walks in daily. Because when you're working, you don't have a thought in your mind about a donut until you walk to the teacher workroom and there's something on the table. And then you're already stressed from what's going on at work. So that's one of those things where it's like you ain't thinking about no donut, but because you walked in the workroom, it's there. You're like, oh gosh, a donut. But anyway, that's the thing. It's just being able to work on my discipline in terms of my self-care, making sure I'm putting my health first, making sure I'm putting myself first, so that I can try to continue to live long enough to enjoy my retirement. Okay, question number 11, new hobbies, interests, or skills. Well, I already have a hobby. I bead. I'm a beader, like jewelry beading. But I have picked up diamond art painting. That's been a lot of fun. My daughter introduced it to me. So I'm doing diamond art painting. It's very relaxing. And so I'm really enjoying that. That's one new hobby that I've picked up. And it's a lot of fun and it's relaxing. I do it on my own time when I want to do it. So I'm not tied to it. It's not like a chore. It's a lot of fun. Question number 12, biggest challenge or surprise? Well, the biggest challenge was my spending with my being able to stretch and budget my pension once a month. But surprisingly, it hasn't been as bad as I thought it was going to be. I was really, really nervous about it, just based on how I used to spend when I was working. But surprisingly, it's been working. It has been working. And I don't feel like, oh my God, maybe I shouldn't have retired. No, I don't feel like that, because I feel like what my pension is enough for what I need it for. So I'm really happy about that. So that's been the biggest challenge. It was initially the biggest challenge, but now it's turned into the biggest surprise. Number 13, it says, do I wish I retired sooner or later? No, I mean, if I could have retired sooner, I definitely would have, but I think I'm good. I think I made the right decision. This was the right time for me. I don't think I could have waited any longer. I don't think I could have worked any longer. So I believe that this was the right time for me when I retired this past June. Question 14, anything differently to prepare? I don't really understand what that means. Oh, I know what it means. I know what he's asking. He's asking if would I have done anything differently to prepare for my retirement? I can't say I would have saved more money, because in education in the state of Florida, you don't make a whole lot of money. You're not getting rich as an educator in the state of Florida, not teacher-based anyway. So That's a tough one for me because I really don't, I don't know. I won't be able to say that I would have wished I would have saved more, because either way, I wouldn't have been able to tap into it anyway until I turned 59 and a half without penalty anyway. So I really can't say that because just, I, I have no regrets. I can't say that. Question 15, something that I'm glad I never have to deal with again. Oh, yeah. Um, the constant emails, the constant schedule changes, especially at the beginning of the year. Um, oh my God, the list can go on and on. Um, that's one thing that I liked my hours because I had to be to work from 7:10 to 2:40. So I was done by 2:40, unless of course I had a meeting after school. But for the most part, it's just the constant emails, the pushy parents. The students were a gem, though. I really enjoyed working with my students. My team, I also enjoy working with my teammates. I miss them a lot. I really do miss them. But that's the only thing. If I could see them every day without working, I would. So, yeah, I'm glad I don't have to deal with that. That's one thing that stopped me from, dang, this video is 16 minutes. Yikes, I'm talking too much. All right. Next question, number 16. How do I define retirement success? Okay, for me, it is having that peace of mind. Retirement success is having what you need, being able to be at home and not be worrying about finances, not worrying about how you're going to pay your bills, not worrying about how you're going to make ends meet, having the money and the peace to be able to do the things that you want to do and have the money that you need the money for. And any advice that I have 1 to 5 years from retiring, for anybody that's retiring 1 to 5 years from now, I would say, number one, pat yourself on the back because you made it to 1 to 5 years. So pat yourself on the back. Okay, you're in single digits. So that means that you are there. You have arrived, or you're almost there. You're arriving, okay? So pat yourself on the back for that. I would say make sure, because you probably already got your savings thing under control. I would say make sure you get rid of any extraneous debt that you have that you don't need, okay? Whatever debt that is, get rid of it. Credit card debt, Amazon card, whatever it is, go ahead and get rid of all that credit card debt, all this extraneous debt, so that when you retire, you can have peace in that you don't have to worry about that debt, that those debts are gone. So that's what I would say. Get rid of all that debt. Continue to save, because by now I'm sure you're probably saving. Continue to save and do your best with that, with what you're working with. Okay? All right, that's it for me. Please like, share, and subscribe.